So, Vineet, the way I suggest, and
Mm,
it's meant to be a very candid conversation with you
yeah,
facilitating it, Vineet. We at the Tata Group have initiated this whole initiative called Pay Attention. Pay Attention's objective is to play the role of a synthesizer and a kind of an aggregator of all the good work that happens across the country and make it accessible to all. So things like dance therapy, music therapy. So the intent is that the kind of milieu that is there in the country, you don't have so much happening in the tier 2, tier 3 towns, especially, which is where a lot of our remote businesses are. So Tata Power works in about 100, more than 100 districts in the country, 80% of which are remoter areas of the country. So what we notice a lot is that वहाँ पे तो आपको speech therapist, special educator, occupational therapist, people who can even recognize disabilities, forget accepting, recognize भी नहीं मिलता. So our whole objective was to say understanding of disability for the non-specialists. So this whole platform works with people who are not disability educators, who are not the specialists in this space, but who can help, who are like an auxiliary network and a force which can help refer them to the right place, especially because, say, for example, ANMs, auxiliary nurses जो होती है, वो जो role play करती है to make sure that people reach the right hospitals and doctors. That is the role that we want our set of champions to play. So we have been working very closely with Anganwadi workers so far, and because that is where you see a lot of invisible disabilities not getting diagnosed right at that age. So that is where we have looked at Anganwadi workers, pre-primary and primary as our core. And these are all normal schools, normal Anganwadis, normal primary schools, normal pre-primary schools, where we are looking at more awareness so that the invisible forms of disability, especially where it can go undiagnosed, like the neurological disabilities, the learning disabilities, autism, all of that gets a better understanding first among the people, and then they are able to support through networks like Vineet. The kind of work he does is also bring together many forces, right? So our whole intent is to make sure that a phygital network, online and offline, can come together and work. And experts like you all, people who have been through these journeys, can be such good guiding forces if all of this can be brought online. तो स्पीच थेरेपी अगर ऑनलाइन हो जाता है तो स्पीच थेरेपिस्ट मिले ना मिले, एटलीस्ट एक बेसिक सेशन मिल सकता है. And we have
mm,
several apps and other things. So this particular session is being pre-recorded and will be played at a very interesting event that we are curating. It is called Freedom from Bias. So Freedom from Bias and our whole program, Pay Attention, are pulling together a kind of a tech exhibition where all kinds of technologies which can be accessed by people online as well as through hardware are going to be exhibited, and it'll give a lot of confidence and comfort to recruiters, to people in smaller towns, to say that these kind of aids and enablers are available today in India. So if you can take those views and give us those inputs, we will be very, very grateful.
Archana, if you would like to go first and probably introduce bit you and Rashmi both as such. So we have been hearing a lot, but
So,
yeah, yeah. So basically, we have
yeah,
the
good
team of
afternoon,
Tata
everyone.
Power. So we have the entire team of Tata
Yeah, yeah.
Power here. I'm very sure you would be aware, and I think we all would definitely meet on the day, the venue physically
Mm.
also. But the idea is like, could we do also a, pre-recorded meeting, which will be played during the venue. So go ahead and probably introduce each one, whoever is there right now on the call. Yeah, Archana.
Yeah, so good afternoon, everyone. I'm Archana, mother of Rashmi Patil and Jatin Patil. I'm blessed with two special children. So she's Rashmi Patil. She'll be with us. She's profound. She's profound deaf, but she's an international level Bharatanatyam dancer. Apart from that, she owns her own handmade jewelry business since more than 7 years. She has a chocolate business. She is a yoga instructor. She's trained. She's an trained art teacher. Apart from that, she's a makeup artist and many more things.
Yeah. In fact, Forum, I wanted to also tell you that Archana has a child also on the spectrum, and he's probably the only child who has just graduated in mathematics. So a lot of people think, right, like people with neurodiversity can't do mathematics, but here is some things. Yeah, yeah. Go ahead, Archana. In fact, if you would like to even
Yeah.
talk a bit about your
Yes.
others.
So my son is on spectrum and recently he's completed his masters in mathematics and preparing for his PhD entrance. So again, here he's facing some issues as people at large see the label and not the able. So seeing his ability then to having so much ability, he's facing few issues. He's topped India in a scholarship. Even if you Google his name, Jatin Patil, you will get to read about him. Recently, he has even cleared the Junior Research Fellowship, standing 69th in India.
Yeah, Forum. I hope. Yeah, this quite interesting, right? Like,
Very
have.
beautiful. It's so heartwarming, and kudos to you and kudos to both your children and your entire support system for making all of this happen.
Yeah, thank you, ma'am. Here, I would just want to say that the support system is just we four of us because having two special children, no family members have kept any relation with us. But yes, I thank my children because of them, the whole world is my family now.
Amazing. That is such a beautiful outlook. The glass half full is always glass half full and half empty. We can just keep focusing on the half full. So lovely,
Exactly,
Archana.
ma'am.
So nice to hear you, and more strength, more positivity, more grace to you all.
We can go ahead with anyone who volunteers, I think. Veena, in fact, if you would like to briefly tell about Varun.
Say hi to them. You know Vineet. You introduce yourself. Talk about yourself, please.
Yes.
I'm on from Mumbai. I do singing, I do YouTubing, I'm a YouTuber, I'm a maker, I'm a dancer, I'm a visuality thinker, visually think, visually think, I think.
Okay.
So Forum Varun makes amazing cakes, huh? Just wanted to tell you. I think lunch is closer.
Oh, lovely. We are going to want your cake. Are you in Bombay, Varun? So
Yes,
we will want one baked cake on 7th October.
okay.
Yes. Yes, Varun.
Yeah, yeah, good.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Okay.
Yeah. So in fact, yeah, Varun has like multiple talents. He's a baker, he's an artist, and yeah, like does some amazing cool stuff. I personally had his cakes, and his obviously his paintings are quite nice. And yeah, Veena, if you would like to just quickly tell about Fragile X syndrome a bit, and yeah,
Yeah.
like just about
So
Varun.
hi. Yeah. So Varun is our only kid, uh, and he's diagnosed with Fragile X syndrome, which is a genetic disorder, and it's a single gene cause of autism. So though Varun was very young at that time, I think there was a speech delay, and that's what got me into this field. I was a special educator before Varun, but I think it just helped to, maybe get things a little more in order. And but the diagnosis of Fragile X happened only when he was 10, because we've done this doctor hopping, and though we did all our usual, the therapies in order, But I think the key thing was that when we got a diagnosis, we were actually happy because it gave us a kind of closure and work towards helping out Varun in a better way. So it helped with his anxieties, and that was the key thing for us. And over a period, we just saw that Varun was a great doodler, even as a kid, and that's something which I encouraged. I think that would be a better word. And all the paintings that are behind are all done by Varun. And then we also got into baking, and that's something also we saw that helped Varun. So over a period, I think working consistently, as every parent would tell you, and working with a routine has what helped Varun a lot, at least. And I think today he has started enjoying doing all these things. Earlier, maybe it was something that I kind of worked routinely with him, but today he enjoys drawing, he enjoys baking, and he's become a lot more responsible. He's now 22. He's a lot more responsible enough, to when he gets an order, he is like, I have to do this order today. So I think that is a big positive for us. He's into photography, he's also into coding. So I think he's enjoying doing what he's doing. And I think uh, everyone says we should love what we do. And I think that is exactly what Varun is doing.
Who's going next quickly? Sachin?
Hi,
Yeah. Yeah, Sachin.
yeah, hi, I'm Sachin. I'm from Mumbai, and I'm basically suffering from distal spinal muscular atrophy. It's a neurological condition, and I'm working with State Bank of India from the last 14 years, and I have this newfound love of acting now. I'm a trained actor. I've done my acting course from Anupam Kher's Actor Prepares, and so it's like now, of course, it's like it's more about the research thing, about learning the nuances of that particular art form. And yes, as a person, I like to be, I mean, I just love to laugh, make people laugh. And I think at the end of the day, I mean, I like to be crazy at all. I mean, not mad or neurotic, but of course, crazy and fun loving. And I think at the end of the day, it's my insanity that keeps me sane.
This is interesting, Sachin. We'll probably explore more about your insanity in the recorded session. Chen, you would like to go?
Yeah,
We'll just.
yeah, Vinny, thank you.
Yeah.
Hey, panel, this is Chen Singh Rajput from Rajasthan, Jodhpur, but currently I'm working in a American MNC name called RRD, so I shifted in Chennai. So I just started my journey last 1.5 months ago. Basically, I belong from a village area. So before the 1.5 months, I am usually what I say means uh, I have no word means I'm feeling the change when I'm getting the explore with that kind of the society, that kind of people who are amazing here, who is so talented. Means how can a person have so much talent in a one body? Means I think completely blow. So yes, uh, I'm new in this field, so I try to learn more, explore more, enjoying enjoying the having you guys. Yes, really amazing. That's all about me. Thank you.
Thank you, Chen.
We will start re-recording. We were recording this as well, and we'll pick up pieces from this interaction that we had. But if we can focus a little bit on the technology part of what are the enablers that helped you all. Need not be digital technology. Technology can be many things. Um, if that can be a part of your narrative, that will be a huge learning for us. And also what you wish, what you see as missing out there, and there are no answers for it, but the problems and the questions lie there. So those things, if you can highlight, we'll be very, very grateful as a part of your conversation.
I'll just start with a quick introduction, a bit about me. But because the stars are here, so like obviously I'll be like at the minimum intervention possible. Now we have technically covered all disability. I myself am a visual person with visual disability. We have person with hearing disability. We have someone on the spectrum. We have persons with locomotor disability, muscular dystrophy. So overall, we have covered in fact, it's good to see the diversity within, and everyone has their own unique challenges. Like, so as you have put in that the last question, I can throw in this question, that how can technology help us to solve for things where we are facing some barriers and so on. But the first two or three questions would be more towards the journey and individual challenges, where they can obviously mention their challenges and technology piece if that might be relevant to them, both digital, physical. And then coming to the last question.
That is perfect. And just one addition, Vineet, maybe
Yeah.
the attitudes that worked with them. To me, attitude is technology. So
Yeah, so
I'm
attitude can come in the second question, post the journey basically.
lovely.
And if you want to like come in the middle also, forum, feel free. Like that's like, it would
Soul.
be nice if you think so, that you can even be in the like anything which you want, more deeper introspection. Because see, it's not very like, because we have that diversity of talent, let's try to so that
It's
the
beautiful.
audience who listens gets maximum information about this.
It's beautiful. And they're not all employed, right? Some of them are working on their own, they're
Yes, yes.
consultants. So it's so
Yeah.
beautiful to say that how you shape your own journeys versus some company shaping it for you always. So over to you, Vineet. You know the space better than all of us here. So please make it a kind of thing which can be a digest for many to learn from. So lovely. Over to you.
Good afternoon, everyone. I think we have come for a very, very interesting discussion, and we have some interesting panel members today for this discussion. But before heading towards and knowing more about the panel members, let me introduce myself. I am Vineet Saraiwala, the founder of Atypical Advantage. It's a talent platform which tries to generate economic livelihood for people with disabilities. I myself am a person with visual disability, went into IIM Bangalore, 6 years of corporate experience, and quit everything to start this platform. And it's trying to give opportunities to people with disabilities based on their abilities and strengths. And yeah, it's a 2-year old platform. We have generated more than 1,000 opportunities, worked with 120 plus corporates, but the journey has just started. Now, without further delay, let me introduce you all the panel members as such. So, our first panel member is Varun, and he's an amazing artist and baker as such. And we have Veena, who would be representing Varun. And Varun and Veena, why don't you quickly introduce yourself and just tell a bit about Varun? Yeah.
Hi, I'm Varun's mother, and Varun is here also. He'll introduce himself. Varun is an amazing kid. He's an all-rounder. He is a baker. He's an artist. He's a coder. He's a photographer, and he's a fun guy. I think essentially he's a fun guy who's built in a lot of confidence for himself. And thanks to Atypical Advantage, he's been getting now good offers. He had a offer from Accenture to do a doodling workshop. So I think that is a new side of him, and he loves teaching. And we're very happy doing what we are doing. So thank you, Vineet, for inviting us to this panel. Also, Varun is a young adult with Fragile X syndrome. It's a single gene cause of autism, but nothing takes that away from what Varun is. Extremely affectionate, a loving kid. Sometimes can be a pain, but he keeps saying that about me too. So that is the fight we always keep having. Yes,
Thank-
Varun.
yeah, Varun.
Varun, you'll have to say a hi.
Varun, people
Uh,
are listening to you.
I'm on the way from Mumbai. My mom and dad are working with the IC for the future funds, and we work in a bank. And we are very artists, we dancers, we yoga trainers. So a lot of yoga facilities for money and investment. We invest for in USC technology, training, America, food and everything. Then this is we were fed all India happy.
Thank you, Varun, for sharing. In fact, we can flash some of your artworks later. As such, moving on to the next panel member, uh, we have Sachin. In fact, he wanted to be an actor. Right now, working in a PSU bank. But yeah, we'll hear more about his acting and plus his job. So, Sachin, why don't you tell a bit about yourself?
Hi, hello. As Vinny introduced myself, I'm Sachin from Mumbai. I'm working for State Bank of India for the last 14 years. And firstly, I would like to thank Atypical Advantage to give me my first apple, because of which I could imbibe and instill and learn that piqued my interest about acting. So thank you, Vinny, for that. And yes, so it's totally about the journey I see, um, the passion that I have, and the strongly feel about acting. So yeah, so that's how it is. I'm suffering from distal spinal muscular atrophy. So I try to lead a positive life, laugh as much as I can, make people laugh around me. Yeah, create a peaceful, happy, healthy balance.
Thank you, Sachin, for this. Uh, we have Chain joining from Rajasthan. Chain, why don't you go ahead and tell a bit about yourself and your journey so far?
Sure, Vinith. Hey, panel. This is Chen Singh Rajpurohit from Rajasthan, Jodhpur. Basically, I am a over type disability, means orthopedic disability. This is a locomotive disability. I have to use to stick to work. Uh, I just joined RRD company, which is American MNC, that's established in Chennai. I get connected uh, by the NGO that established the Vinith, na. It's atypical. I work for the local pharmacies and all. But now I am in at international platform. Just try to learn more, explore more. Just due to the Vinith, that's all, man. That's all about me. Thank you for inviting me.
Thank you, Chen. We'll learn more about your journey as we move forward. We have Rashmi Patil, who is a fabulous Bharatnatyam dancer, and she's a dancer with hearing disability. And it's so nice to even know Rashmi and her journey as such. So we have Rashmi, and Archana would be representing Rashmi. And yeah, Archana, if you would like to quickly introduce and yeah, say hi from our panel to Rashmi.
Good afternoon, everyone. I'm Archana Patil, blessed mother of two special children. My elder one is hearing impaired, but she is an international level Bharatanatyam dancer. She's a yoga instructor. She has her own handmade jewelry business. Since 7+ years, she has her chocolate business. She has she's a makeup artist. Apart from that, she's done modeling for Tribes India. It's a government brand, and she's won 4 pageant shows where all the contestants were so called normal and she being special among them. And at present, she is doing online shows for companies and few NGOs. She's even been taking online workshops for craft for special need children. And this lockdown has helped a lot, where she's more introduced to online things, online performances, online workshops. She could connect to many people across the world. And we need to have to introduce my second child also.
Please, I think Archana, I think if you could just tell a bit about Jatin, because why
Sure,
it's
sure.
important is a lot of people have this notion about autism that, like let's say a child on the spectrum cannot be good at mathematics, and I think your son is defying that. So why don't you tell a bit about your son also?
Okay, so yes, my younger one, when he was early diagnosed, which helped me a lot to work on him. He's never been to any therapy centers, but he was diagnosed when he was 1.3, and then I started working on him. I had done a parent guidance course which helped for hearing impaired, which helped me to work on both the children. So my son, when he was diagnosed as severe to moderate on spectrum, but now he travels all over India alone. He has been staying for 5 years independently in Pune. Uh, Proud feeling is that he has bagged more than 30 scholarships, has completed his masters in mathematics, and now preparing for his PhD. And one more thing I would love to tell everyone is he has completed all his studies on his own scholarship. We as parents have only paid for his food and nothing else. So this is
Wow.
again a pride feeling thing.
No, no. Thank you, Archana, for sharing that. In fact, the diversity in our panel members is quite amazing. We have people from rural areas. We cover across all disabilities in terms of visual, hearing, locomotor, autism spectrum, fragile X. We have again people who are doing their own work, where Rashmi has her own jewelry business. Varun makes beautiful cakes as such. We have someone from a PSU bank, we have someone from private firms as such, and you also have an entrepreneur with disability. So yeah, it would be a beautiful joy out listening to all of the panel members. So thank you for sharing your journeys. We would like to go one by one. I'll pose a quick question, which we really want all of your thoughts on this as such. So please focus on your own disabilities, because I am very sure we'll get divergent views because we have such diverse journeys within our panel members. I just wanted to ask Veena, especially on how important is like the early intervention, because I remember I was reading about Varun, where you said that knowing that Varun has fragile X syndrome was important for you as a family as such. And secondly, what are the attitudes which you faced while Varun was growing up? I know now Varun is successful with baking, coding, and doing his paintings, but we really want to know a lot of these things, because probably it will help the listeners as well as parents, and yeah, like the entire Tata Power family too.
Yeah, thanks, Vinny. Yeah,
Yeah.
I think what worked, starting with early intervention, was we could focus on Varun's finer points that we wanted to make him more independent. So I think we worked on the occupational therapy, and speech was a delay which he had. And I know speech or communication is such a key role it plays in, communicating or letting people know. And that is also something we focused on for Varun. And getting the Fragile X diagnosis helped us to get into medications which would help Varun to up his potential. I think which was always there. But I think in a society like ours, where people are only seeing what the child cannot do instead of seeing what he can actually do. So I think getting the diagnosis helped us in helping Varun with his anxieties, which was huge, which hampered his growth, whether it was in a regular school, which eventually he had to move out to go into a special school because it was very difficult in a regular school for so many teachers with 40 students to handle one kid with some kind of challenges. So I think the Fragile X bit was helpful also from helping other parents understand where if you want to have another child, maybe you have to be, since it's a genetic disability, you can be a little more cautious. You can find out and then work towards it. Attitudes, we've had a struggle with attitudes because people would not want to believe that Varun could do a lot of things because his issues with behavior came in between, and it was rather not behavior issues but more anxiety driven issues which looked like a behavior issue. But that actually hampered his growth, whether it was in school, because he likes a lot of physical space. He doesn't like interacting with people very close. And I always joke around that, COVID is what leveled everything because Varun is a social ambassador for social distancing. And I think I always laugh it out telling he should have been made a social ambassador because a brand ambassador because he needed space and people never actually gave him that space. But now with COVID, everyone knows that we need to keep our distances. So attitudes did change, and with more and more exposure in technology through his videos, through his this, people realize, oh, this kid can do a lot of stuff. So from relations, from a lot of people who felt, oh, this kid can't do, they say, oh, he can do this, oh, he can do this, oh, he can do this. And I think that made a huge difference. I think even from Varun's angle, because he feels, oh, mama, I can do this. I am quite famous. And he's a witty guy. He's a fun guy. So, he would make up jokes in between. And, he just enjoyed doing what he was doing. And teaching was something he always wanted to do. And you helped him with that platform where he could teach and people realize, oh, this guy can do something. So I think that really helped Varun. And he's a very net savvy guy. So when you talk about technology, I know it really would help him. And online, anything online for Varun works wonders. So I think that is our journey.
No, what I'm hearing is I think technology post COVID for you has been a great benefit in a lot of ways, and especially even social distance, which you mentioned, has been a quite a boon for Varun in a lot of things. And yeah, I
Yes.
think. And probably Varun's coding journey and in spite of not having a formal education post standard 10 is quite incredible. So what I take back from your comments is that let your child decide what he can or cannot do. Let not society put in some labels and things of a formal definition of, hey, this person is on the spectrum, but he can only be doing this or that job. But here is Varun who is telling that look, I can be a baker, I can be a coder, I can earn my own money, and yeah, I'm cool and witty too. So thank you, Veena, for sharing that. Chain, I really wanted to come to you next because I think Veena has probably focused more on the urban attitudes towards people with disability. But tell us, how was it growing up in Rajasthan? How was the attitude like, and how were you introduced to technology? Do you think technology is important as such, because you're working primarily in a tech company? But yeah, just tell us a bit about attitudes in the rural setting for people with disabilities.
Yeah, Vinny, sure. Uh, if I say about the technology and as Archana mentioned that what's the attitude before COVID and after COVID. For general people, so they just introduce the isolations, okay, isolations and something like maintaining distancing. Or now I
Yes.
am in for now I am Tamil Nadu. Tamil Nadu is a different state. They are probably speak Tamil or the English only. They're not capable to understand Hindi. And I am in a metro city, so I have to travel, and I am enjoying the technology. Means I order my food from technology, I travel from technology, I maintain my whole account on technology, I earn from technology. So yeah, technology will change my life. I love it. Thank
No,
you.
no, thank you, Chen. I think a lot of people with disabilities would agree with you that technology has changed their lives for the better,
Yeah.
as such. But and yeah, thanks for bringing in a different perspective and a bit of advocacy which you do. I think I always tell everybody that limitation lies only in one's mind. Thank you for sharing that, Sachin. We really want to come to you because you are also working in a bank plus want to become a model. Are you crazy being a person with disability? Why do you want to even become a model? Like, people with disabilities might not be considered beautiful, handsome. What do you think about these stereotypes going on?
I'm
But yeah, if you were to just tell a bit about this attitude towards these fields, let's say models, or because it's very hard to even imagine that, hey, you are a person with disability and you are thinking or aspiring to be a model. Or yeah, if you can probably shape a bit about your career in a bank, because you have 14 years of experience, and a bit about your passion or hobby of modeling.
Okay, so of course, in your own words, these are just stereotypes. Okay. I mean, it's like, of course, there are, I mean, biases that people have, that how can a guy on a wheelchair be a model or an actor for that matter? But it's like somewhere down the line, I think someone has to break that barrier. Okay. And that should be from both the sides. Okay, suppose you are making a film and you are making a film on a theme on disability. Of course, you would like to have people who have gone through that feeling, right? And able body, however, knowledgeable or about that particular subject he might not be able to emote that emotion properly. But of course, if you have a trained actor or someone who has that kind of disability, he would be able to present it efficiently on the screen, right? And for modeling also, it's like it's not true that people with disabilities are not good looking. They are good looking, right? I mean, okay,
Mhm.
fine. If you have a particular theme, you just have to cater to that particular segment. Uh, so yeah, so I think the barrier has to be broken. That's what I feel. And coming to my professional this thing, or maybe the general attitude of the public towards me, I have been very fortunate enough, touch wood, because there might have been just 2 or 3 instances where I was discriminated. But overall, the experience of living on this planet has been very beautiful. I think people were very kind enough. They were very supportive enough, be it my teachers, and when I see Dina ma'am and Parthu ma'am, even I have a strong woman behind me, my mother, because of whom I was able to achieve many great things in life. I mean, of course, great things from my point of view, but she could do her best. I mean, salute to all the mothers out there. I mean, it's only because of you women that children like us are able to achieve what we really want to achieve. So yeah, so and of course it's like the friends that you get. Okay, one needs to interact with the outer world. I think that's more important. And even as a person, you need to develop your attitude. So for that, interaction with the outer world is very important. So people shouldn't shy away from people like us just because there's something less in us. Okay, even we have a heart that beats. Even we have a heart that is full of love, right? And even we can be great friends. I have actually great set of friends, and they're fine confident. It's not because they have shied away. It's because of that emotion, that bond that we share, right?
Yeah.
And of course, it also transcends to the other factor, as in interacting with the opposite gender, right? You can fall in love. Yeah, that's pretty much normal. It's like we have to break the barriers. That's what I feel. It's like
Yeah.
there's a tendency among the people, I mean, from the disabled as well as from the able-bodied person, that ये नहीं हो सकता, ये नहीं हो सकता, थोड़ा मुश्किल है, अरे कुछ मुश्किल नहीं है, करके देख लेंगे.
I think this is very powerful in a lot of ways. I think, again, what I'm hearing from Veena and Jane and you are pretty much on the same lines. Who defines that what a person can be? You can become a model. You can fall in love, and yeah, go travel, explore the world, and I'm so happy to know that you were fortunate with a good set of family, friends, as well as a good support system. And yeah, please carry on and pursue your hobby. And yeah, we again would like to hear a bit from Archana, Rashmi's mother. But before that, I also would like to just endorse what Sachin goes ahead and says, because for me also, again, it's more about technology. I use a screen reader software which converts text into speech. And from founding the platform or working on my computers, I have done it because of technology, and technology is one of the biggest equalizers, I must say, for everybody in general. It probably connects the world, and you can, as a person with disability, harness technology to your advantage and become whatever you want to become. I have become an entrepreneur, and I can tell you that it's quite empowering, with text to speech, and a lot of other softwares which I use. But yeah, we would like to hear from Archana. Archana, how was the journey of mentoring two kids with disability, and both of them have come out with flying colors? How was the attitude like of the society? You already have mentioned a bit, where I was reading that a lot of your closer family members cut off ties from you when they had known about the that your child have disability. But yeah, what was the general notion? Could you take us through that?
Yes, thank you, Vineet. As Veena said, early intervention had helped a lot. So here, in both my children's cases, intervention has helped a lot. In Rashmi's case, she was diagnosed when she was just, you can say, 6 to 7 months old. But that too, for me, it was late. If I would have known about her hearing impairment earlier, maybe things would have been much better. But nevertheless, yes, she started using her hearing aids from the age of 1.5, and Jatin was also diagnosed when he was 1.3. So, knowing their challenges at an early stage helped me to help them out in their whatever issues they had to overcome their issues. And the main thing over here is I have explained about their obstacles to both the children at a very early stage. So then I was just the guide, and they were the persons who took their journey ahead. So here when people say क्या हमारा बच्चा भी जतीन जैसा बनेगा, I said आपके उसके लिए आपको अर्चना और आपके बेटे को जतीन बनना पड़ेगा. This is what I say. And the attitude, as I said, yes, I've faced a lot of it. My family, in fact, forget about the children, they never used to allow me to touch their children, as I had two special children. So no one has contact with us. It's we are four wheels of the car. We go together, we are together, and we will be together. So we support each other in every walk of life, wherever we need. Even if Jatin has some competitive exams in Mumbai, all four of us travel with him for his exams, just as a support system. Talking about the challenges which we had, but the children had faced in school is Jatin, being autistic, he was not able to explain who had hit him. He used to come with bruises and hidden marks, but he was not able to explain that who had done. So then the Tare Zami Par movie, that changed him, and then he understood what is bullying, and then he started telling me that when he was hit, he was hurt somewhere in the school. He was able to explain it to me that who did it. And in Rashmi's case, it was like when she was in the third standard, all the parents had written an application that she's mad. It will have a bad effect on our children, so please get her out of the school. But here the principal stood with us. She said, if you have issues with her, y'all can take your children to another school, but I won't expel her. So that support system, I'm a person who believe in God, and I say God comes in any form. So for me, that time, the principal was like God who supported. Apart from that, when Jatin was 7 years old, he was detected with celiac disease, and then it further went to the early stage of intestinal cancer. So that year was very tough for me because Jatin was 6 months hospitalized and he was only on IV. So yes, overcoming different challenges in 8th standard, Jatin's teachers and peer group harassed him. It's so to such a limit that one fine day he said that I want to commit suicide. Then I had to give him depression therapy to overcome that stage, and then he went on with. He was also from school for 6 months, and later on he only went for exams. I had to change his school, and later on he completed his studies and completed his masters.
I think that was an eye-opening narration. Uh, as such, I think we need to correct our schooling mechanisms of uh, bullying, discrimination, which starts at an early age, which is not very healthy for any
Yes.
child in the country. So,
Yes,
in fact,
Vinit, yeah, just a few things, two things I just want to say is Jatin has a habit, he has a lot of sensory issues and he has a habit of self-talk. So then when I used to ask him that when you are in the hostel and specifically when he's in the washroom, he does lot of self-talk. So I told him, don't children tease you or say anything to you. So he was like, you have taught me to ignore. So I ignore those boys and I don't care and I live my life. So this way we have traveled and talking about technology. In fact, I would say Rashmi is almost grown because of technology. When she started her business, she had her Facebook and Insta page. She started later on, but yes, it started from WhatsApp. She prepared some jewelry. I posted it on my WhatsApp group, and then she started getting orders. So this way, her business started. And just one sec here, I would like to show everyone. This is in work process. She is making some Navratri jewelry, Vinith,
wow.
which she has to complete till today evening.
Oh, Rashmi, we all the best so that you finish your order and
Okay.
your client loves it as such. In fact, that's so nice. And Archana, thank you for sharing this. I think this is very important to anybody who is listening this conversation, be it with Veena and Varun, or Rashmi's own journey and Jatin's journey. A lot of these things start from the beginning with early interventions, schooling, technology, accessibility of things. Chain mentioned about the rural challenges. Sachin again mentioned of his fortunate life and being a model. I think what I'm listening as a theme and really inspired by all the panel members is their incredible journeys. And these definitions and labels of what society things a person with disability can do or cannot do. If anyone has any closing remarks in less than a sentence and anything which I would have missed to point out, probably we could go ahead. If not, I think this was such a amazing conversation, lot of learnings and lot of takeaways for everybody. Any closing remarks from any one of you, feel free to unmute and share if anything you guys have missed and want the audience to know a bit more.
Hey, Vinit, can I mention something?
Sure.
I like to say in our society, means in general society, a PS candidate is almost every time he feels isolated if there is no support system for him. Okay, so if I go with the closing sentence, then I just want to say if if we guys have any time, means 4 minutes, 5 minutes, we at least we have to say hi to them. Means if we are just to engage them, then they can be secure from the overthinking. And as Archana mentioned that her daughter tried to attempt a suicide, I am also trying to attempt suicide. Most of people are trying to attempt suicide. Suicide, okay, because the situation is unknown for us. We are disabled. I know, we know that. We are trying to be comfortable with that normal world. We facing lot of problems. Even we can't mention most of problems, but we are facing them. So yes, it's just a request to everyone who can hear us. We get some time to say hi, only hi. It's just a distracting mind to them to go into a dark zone. It's very helpful, I think.
Yeah,
That's it.
this is important for everybody. I think in this era of technology, we have forgotten to even overlook and say hi to people who are our neighbors playing with us. And yeah, I think that's an important point. Any closing remarks from any one of the other panel members, Archana,
Vinny,
Veena, such?
yeah,
Yeah,
Vinny, I would like to say just Geo or Gine do. Acceptance is what is much needed. The society, if they really, it is like we just keep on talking about inclusive society, but practically it's not done. So that has to be
Absolutely.
implemented a lot.
in the
Uh,
interest of time, Sachin, Veena, I think we have heard both of you, but yeah, in case any quick
No, I
comments,
just
if you
want to
can.
end positively by
Yeah.
saying things are changing, things are improving, people are trying to be, as my husband would say, because they don't have, they don't know. So some people are
Yeah,
scared to ask. So I think people are changing, and let's look at it positively, saying that, you know, I'm sure people are trying their best. We are
yeah.
seeing a change, and let's work towards that change. I think that
thank.
is,
Uh,
let's end it
yeah.
positively.
No, no, completely. Sachin, any closing remarks from your actor
Yes.
mind?
So I would definitely like to add. I mean, after listening to all the stories, I mean, the amount of grit and determination that each and everyone has, and I think with the perfect amalgamation of technology, I think we can be a force to reckon with. We can be a useful resource for the larger interest of the entire idea of nation building. We can contribute to the nation, of course, with the correct kind of technology and the accessibility that can be provided, or simply on the basis of the fact that we are the most highly motivated section of the society. That's it.
Thank you, Sachin. I think you concluded it that well. In fact, you stole my lines. That I think if provided the right ingredients, and we definitely can contribute to nation building. And what I'm hearing again from all the panel members is again, let's not have labels. Let's not limit in any ways. Here are four beautiful examples to tell you that I think there's nothing called impossible. And yeah, me being from Jamshedpur, it was a delight hosting Tata Power, because as every citizen from Jamshedpur would tell you, they have huge respect for all Tata Group firms. So yeah, thank you for giving me this opportunity to host such a wonderful panel and knowing the inner journeys of all four of you. So yeah, thank you.
Thank you.
Yeah, forum
Thank you
if
very
Thank
much.
you.
yeah, yeah, forum in case
Thank
you
you,
want to
everyone.
add. And yeah,
Yeah, so we would just like to say thank you, everyone, and thank you, Vineet, for hosting this panel for us. And of course, everyone is invited if they would like to come and visit us on the day on the 7th October event. Yeah, thank you very much.